Happy feelings. Happy feelings in the air. Ow, 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 ow. Oh, hey y'all. What's going on? It is Saturday evening. What's going on? Your girl, I had the best, and I do mean the best intentions of getting up early and doing something productive. But I said, you know what? This is my 3-day weekend. Absolutely not. No, I don't feel like being productive. My plan was to get up this morning and clean out my car. That was my plan. But I got up this morning and my bed did not want to let me go. I'm going to have to make a citizen's arrest on my bed because I swear every single day it holds me hostage and I'm kind of getting tired of it. I got to do something else. It's just giving kidnap. It's just giving kidnap. And I'm just not for it anymore. But anyway, how was y'all Saturday? I hope y'all had a good day. I hope y'all had a good day to get some rest and do something that you want to do. You know, I always say, during the weekends, I try to do as less as possible. But this weekend, since we do have a 3-day weekend, I am for sure not doing anything. I made sure I cleaned up all this week so that I wouldn't have to clean up this weekend so I can eat snacks, watch a movie mysteries, and lay in the bed. That's what I plan to do. So y'all, but judging by the title, you know that I have a story time. And I don't do story times often, but this one I had to share because when it happened, it was a lot. But now that I look at it and that is over, I'm like, what the hell? And I can laugh at myself now because I should have recognized it before it became a scam. But here we go. So most of y'all know that I like to shop. Oh, and by the way, I'm not sweating. I have on sunscreen. Do you have on yours? I don't want y'all to think, dang, Mr. Queese sweating. No, honey, Mr. Queese is sunscreen down. It's called protecting the melanin. So anyway, back to the story time. So I watch, or look at the TikTok shop or whatever. A lot of y'all know I do like to shop. So I'm on TikTok. Now, this is not the TikTok shop. This is actually just somebody selling stuff on TikTok. So I'm sure y'all seen those self-defense keychain kits that come with the little kitty breaker, and they have the pepper spray and the taser and all of that. And they usually comes with like a dupe of a designer bag, right? So this one that I had, it was a dupe of a Louis Vuitton bag, which was really pretty. I actually had this bag print back in the day. It was just a real Louis Vuitton. So I was like, all right, cool. I can get a little Louis Vuitton for cheap. I mean, one thing about me, I'm not against a dupe. Okay. I mean, I buy dupes at the swap meet. So I don't really care that it's not the original ones. I just like the prints and what they look like. So I didn't care that it was a dupe. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. I knew it was a dupe. So, but the reason why I like this one was because it came with a dupe Stanley cup in the same print as the bag, right? So you got the bag, you got the Stanley cup, and you got the little self-defense things you can put on your keychain, right? So... So the seller DM'd me or whatever and was like, hey man, what's your favorite color or whatever? And I told him my favorite color was pink, and they was like, do you want a bag? And at first I was like, no, I don't really want no bag. And then I said that I would buy one later on. And so what happened was I saw that they had another one that was in the rainbow color. It was actually white with the rainbow Louis Vuitton logos on it. And I thought that was just so cute. So I was like, you know what? I like that one. And so I DM'd the seller and asked them how much it was. So it was $35 for the shipping and $65 for the actual set. Okay. So I was like, all right, cool, bet, no problem. First red flag. So I asked them what forms of payment did they take, and they was like, do you have Chime? And I was like, no, I don't have Chime, you know. And then they was like, okay, they was like, well, do you have Zelle? Now look, I shop a lot, okay? But one thing I'm not going to give anybody is my main checking account information. I do have Zelle, but that's connected to my main checking account. That's where I pay all my bills and, you know, business stuff, you know, like that. So you're not going to get my main information. So I was like, no, I don't have Zelle. So what I did ask the seller was, I said, do you have Cash App? I'm like, because if something go down or whatever, I put a little money on Cash App. Cash App can take it, you whatever, and the transaction can be over. That ain't no risk to me. I only use Cash App to send money to people. So I was like, fine, go, you can use that. They was like, yes, they had Cash App. They was like, or if you don't have Cash App, second red flag. If you don't have Cash App, we can tell you where the nearest store is in your area, and you can get an Apple gift card and send it. And I was like, no, I said Cash App would be fine. I'm not doing all that. And so they sent the Cash App information, right? Once they sent it, then they told me, you know, that it would be delivered really soon, that by the week I should have it, you know, and then once I get it, to let them know, and they would tag like my video of them making the product that I got and put it on their page so people can see it. I was like, all right, cool, no problem. Well, y'all, I ordered the package on Sunday. Tuesday, the business owner set up there and texted me and said that my package, you know, is at my state's post office and that it's going to be delivered soon. I get home, it's probably 5:40, and I get a text message from some guy named Dave. Dave was like, hey, ma'am, you know, show me a picture of a box. Said, hey, ma'am, did you order some items from Self-Defense Keychain Company, you know? And I was like, yes. They was like, you know, we'll be delivering to your house in about an hour. You know, are you going to be there? I was like, yeah, we good. And so he was like, okay, when I get there, it's going to be $100 delivery fee. I was like, what? I'm like, here come the foolishness. And I was like, delivery fee for what? I've already paid shipping and handling. I'm not paying the $100 delivery fee. And so he was like, well, that's what the company says. You have to pay $100 delivery fee. If you don't pay it, you know, then we can't deliver it. And not only that, he told me, he didn't tell me he couldn't deliver. He basically told me, or he, she, whoever, they told me that if I didn't, that I needed to pay the $100, that they was at the post office about to get it and that it needed to be paid. And so I'm like, oh, hell no. And so they was like, we're going to be at your house within the hour and you better pay the $100. So I got a little panicky. So what I did was my crazy self up there and told my landlord that the people come asking for $100 for delivery for a package, call the police. And she's like, okay, girl, I got you. And then I'm sitting up here and then trying to talk to this fool. And he was like, well, I'm going to be at your house within the hour. You better have $100. So I called my boyfriend. Love my boyfriend. I got him off of his job. He coming down here ready to cut somebody's head off. And so he came down and he negotiating with the person. He was like, all right, cool. But he was like, well, come and deliver the package. This is my boyfriend. He's like, come and deliver the package. He was like, I got $100 cash. He was like, you bring me the product, I'll give you $100 cash, right? This person, Dave, was like, you know, well, I have Chime. You can pay in Chime. You know, you can't pay in cash because that's not how it works. We have to have, you know, either you can do Chime or you can do Cash App. You know, we can't do cash. My boyfriend was like, well, if you're delivering the product, you know, here is cash on delivery. Once we inspect the product, then we will give you $100 cash. No, you have to pay for it before you actually get the product. Once you pay me for the product, then you would be able to get the product. My boyfriend was like, block. And, it kept going on until we realized, basically, I kind of realized a while ago that I had got scammed. But after the text message kept going on over there, we realized I had got scammed. And it was so funny because I realized I didn't look on TikTok and see the reviews of any of the people that had been scammed by them before. I should have, and I didn't. And I felt kind of foolish because I was like, I've never been scammed in my whole life. In the whole 45 years on this earth, I've never been scammed. For a few reasons. One, because I never had enough money to be scammed with, okay? Every dollar that I have had, I need that money for something else, okay? So, wasn't gonna be no scamming. If anything, I was trying to hustle other folks. So, it wasn't gonna be no scamming. So, I just felt like, you know what, look, there's $100 you're gonna have to eat. Learn from your mistake. Don't do it again. If you shop online, make sure it's reputable. Make sure it's, because like I told you, I shop on a TikTok shop all the time, and they come deliver stuff to my house, and I've never had a problem. And I realized I wasn't going to have a problem with them coming to my house or anything because there was nothing to deliver. There was no package, there was no box or anything coming. They had just scammed me, and they was trying to scam me for more money. After that $100, I was like, no, that's what you're not going to do. I was glad that I had listened and not let them into my main checking account because I'm like I said, Cash App, I just used that to send money to people. So it wasn't even that serious. So I just took the loss, and realized to be more careful. But I wanted to tell y'all that story because I want you all to be mindful and careful about what you do and what you buy online, because in this economy, our money is too precious to be just sending it to just random people who are lazy, evil, and want to cause people harm and scam them out the money. Ain't nobody got time for that. It was $100 that I got scammed out of, and sure enough, I'm not gonna starve because that was $100. But believe me, I don't want to give nobody no $100 that don't deserve it. I can give you some money if you need it, but if you're just trying to scam me out of it, absolutely the hell not. So I just want y'all to be careful out there, y'all. But that's the time I got scammed. Now, am I going to stop shopping? Absolutely not. No, I'm not going to stop shopping. But I just wanted to let y'all know what happened because it's crazy out here, and people are just doing the most randomest stuff to beat and cheat people at their money. And it's getting to a point, it's like, why? Like, why are you out here scamming people with a personal cup? I mean, like, what are we doing? So, yes. So just be careful, y'all. Just watch out. Just make sure you are aware and those red flags go off. You think it's too good to be true. It 9 times out of 10 is. It's too good to be true. All right. So that is my story time, y'all. I am glad y'all stuck around to the end. Y'all probably only stuck around to the end because y'all nosy. But either way, if you stuck around to the end because you nosy, or you stuck around to the end because you actually wanted to see what my story was about, I'm glad you stuck around. So I hope y'all have a good evening. I hope y'all have a great rest of your 3-day weekend. Take advantage of it. Do something that you want to do. Hey, them clothes and them dishes, they can be put away another day. Hey, just chill this weekend out. All right, y'all? All right, I love y'all. And hey, like I always say, if you don't love yourself, how you gonna love somebody else? Huh? All right, y'all.